What's up, everybody? Today I'm going to take you guys for a ride on a very impressive release this year, the Himiway C5. They have two models, an expensive one, the Ultra, and the normal one. And I'm going to tell you the difference, and I'm going to take you guys for a ride and show you the highlights of this bike. Okay, the first highlight of this bike is the curb appeal, and I think that is actually very important for this class of bike. People want to look good, kids want to be cool. You gotta look good. You can't have a hybrid looking bike. Looks like a moto, and really they nailed it. Nice frame, tubular frame, nice graphics, and then the seat is what makes it. Looks like a moto, and the battery is completely hidden in there. It just looks like part of the chassis right there. It's a huge battery, 900 watt hour, and it's got a hub motor with a few speed Shimano. Nice little pedals right there just to make it legal, and huge tires on small wheels. Looks like 20-inch wheels, Kenda. Pretty good tread. And one of the highlights for me right away is the suspension. The suspension air shock on the rear. Air shock is huge because you can adjust it to your weight, whether you're a 300-pound guy or a 110-pound teen. And then look at the front fork, triple clamp fork, nice suspension, has an adjustment knob. All right, moving on to the front, we have a very big headlight, and what's cool is it's got a nice beam pattern that's flat on top, so you're not blinding drivers. And nice brakes, very light action, Tektro, but with a very firm feel. At contact point, very good grips, and you got a nice little bonus little cup holder and a cup that they include with it. So there you go, a really cool package that any kid or little kid or big kid would be delighted to have, especially you have the area to roam and have fun with this. All right, here we go. Gonna go for a little ride. We adjusted the tire pressure to 15 and the shock pressure on the rear to about 30. So it's nice and plush. We'll see what happens. So first, I'm going to shut the motor off, and I'm going to pedal it as a bike. So it does work as a bike. And I don't know how fast I can pedal this thing. Shifting works very well, but really the fun, when the motor is off, will the throttle work? No, the throttle does not work when you're at level 0. So you have to be at least at level 1 at the throttle. So now I get some assist, and the throttle should work. Okay, so to pedal, if you have really long legs, you have to slide back in the saddle. If you have short legs, you slide forward. That gives you a little room. So right here, I'm on level 1. Got enough gearing to get me to some speed. And very comfortable position, very comfortable ride. So here we are at a local park. I'll turn the motor off as I cross over and just pedal. And here we have our first uphill. I'm gonna pedal on level 1. Interesting. All right, now the cool part of the test drive. Right here, we're right by the rail tracks. It's a very rough trail with gravel, and this thing is smooth. So the big tires smooth it out, and the suspension, the front is good, and the rear air tuned to my weight is really cool. And I'm flying here, going about 28 miles an hour. And here I'm gonna take some single track. So we'll see the handling of this little beast. I'm mostly gonna use the throttle so I can focus. Ooh, a little pedaling too, but focus on the terrain. It's narrow and this thing handles as good as anything. Nice brakes. Now mind you, when you do hit the brakes, the motor shuts off, so you can't modulate that way. And also when you get back on the motor, there's a little bit of a delay. So more railroad tracks, and then we're gonna do a steep hill. This is like a 12% hill, and I'm just pressing the throttle full blast so it can climb some hills, and you could definitely help out. And it's good that there's gears, because as the bike loses speed, you can help it with your own legs. So you can climb most any hill as long as they're not too long, and it climbs at a pretty good clip. Nice power. So great bike, great handling, and the price is pretty darn amazing. I would recommend the $1,600 version with the cadence sensor and the coil shock to save a little bit of money, because that is a screaming deal for a machine like this. You know, main difference between a cadence sensor and a torque sensor is a torque sensor is a little more sensitive, more natural feeling when you are pedaling. But something like this, you're probably not gonna pedal too much. All right, so there is my ride-through video. You rode along with me. Hope you had fun, but it is amazing. It is so stable. Throttle works, pedals work, and the brakes are really good. And pretty impressed. Now that I've tuned the rear shock and the tire pressure, it is so good and stable. For the money they're asking, I think $2,200, it is impressive. And really, the real find is on the non-ultra version. The difference between the ultra and the non-ultra is non-ultra doesn't have a cadence sensor. It doesn't have a torque sensor. It just has a cadence sensor, so a little more abrupt when you're pedaling. But if you're just using it as a throttle machine, mostly, and a little bit of pedaling, then the cheaper version, non-ultra, will be fine. But check the links in the description, because it's a well-built machine, and I think we're benefiting from the post-supply chain, oversupply chain issues. But it'll take you to places like this one right here. Just amazing little neighborhood trail, and you can really explore. All right, thanks a ton, everybody.